Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm just going to jump right into it and skip all of the formalities because it's been a year roughly since I've posted anything on my channel. And when I say that this year has been one for the books, I don't necessarily mean that in the best way. I don't know how or when things took a turn, but they definitely took a hard left, to say the least. It took a very hard left. And maybe it was because I was closing out my Saturn return this year or what, but I called myself celebrating for my birthday. See my little birthday video that I have here that I'm showing you guys. I was looking great. And yeah, January 31st, 30th, 31st. I don't even remember the day because when I tell you that I had just blacked out between, I would say January to about August is a blur. Okay, emotionally, I became tapped. I did my best to get myself out of that space, but just listening to the recording of my last video and me just talking about needing to do certain things alone. Well, I mean, by force and not by choice at this point. And, I had started clearing out a lot of old energy and a lot of old relationships. And I was ready to just move in the direction of my life where I would start to become. And the amount of pressure and discipline and grounding this year has taken for me to maintain my sanity should be recorded and entered into the Guinness Book of World Records. I mean, just from the top of the year, started losing family members, and it gotten so bad I had to go to therapy, guys. Like it was just bad. It was bad because to make such a self-declaration, and you have to be, and it's not to scare anyone off from their journey because listen, we all have to go through it, but to make such bold declarations, you have to be ready for what that comes with and to be tested. And this year alone has been the test of my life, it seems like. Like every moment up until this year of 2025 has prepared me. I learned lessons and you know, now it was time for me to submit my final grade. My final exam was 2025. That's literally how it felt. And what's strange is, I would say early January, somewhere between December and January, I don't know, it's like I just got this gut feeling and I had started to slightly disassociate. And nothing in particular was going on. And I just assumed that maybe, it was me being triggered because of my birthday. And the year prior, my 29th, the day after my birthday, I got into a very traumatic car accident. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'm just, feeling residuals of that and dealing with that. My birthday just passed, but man, nothing could prepare me for what was coming up. And, I lost some some very significant, you could say, mother figures or maternal figures in my life because I come from a very close knit family. So, and a family full of women. So we're very close. And aunties and grandmas and, cousins alike, everybody in the family that is your elder is a mother figure, maternal figure. And that's just how I was raised. So I lost an aunt. And then maybe 3 or 4 months after that, I lost my great grandmother. And it really put me into a tailspin emotionally and mentally. I just felt so out of touch with myself, with the world around me. It was very scary because finding comfort in solitude and being able to walk certain parts of your journey alone, it can be a breath of fresh air, especially when you're overcoming those abandonment wounds. But nothing really prepares you for the permanent loss of a loved one, especially when you don't necessarily see it coming and it just happens out of the blue. And I dealt with that this year, along with, trying to retract and go back and find my comfort in people that I've once found comfort in. And I couldn't. I couldn't because those doors were meant to be closed. Those chapters were done. And even in me attempting to go and, you know, soothe this abandonment that I was feeling, I couldn't stay. Like it had become disgusting to say the least, just to be there. I felt like I was selling myself short just being in certain company. And that was an even harder pill to swallow because here it is. I'm dealing with the inevitable. It's unfortunate, but it is inevitable. And I literally come home to no one and nothing. I don't even have a pet, but that's for my own reasons why I don't have one. I give a lot and I just don't have enough to give. So, children, pets, things alike where they're going to solely depend on me. I can't do that in this moment. So just coming home to nothing but myself and having to face the challenges of life without, close loved ones that I have spent my entire life with was very daunting to say the least. So When I say this year has been one that has tapped certain parts of myself that I did not know existed. This entire time, I just assumed that I was plucking all of my traumas from its root, and I wasn't. I wasn't. It wasn't until I couldn't make a phone call anymore to tap back in or reconnect with someone. It wasn't as if I could just show up at their home and they would be there. We could say, I'm sorry, or, mend something. Like, unfortunately, death is not something that can be mended. And sitting with that heavy truth this year really put a lot of things into perspective for me. Again, like I said, I have become disgusted with putting myself in certain situations where people were not trying. They were here and able to do, but just refused not to. And outside of that, I knew that I myself am here. I deserve certain things. I deserve to show up for myself in a way that is beneficial to who I am becoming. And I'm not. Every day is a new day for me to push myself into my destiny and the life that I want to live. And here it is. I'm wasting precious time sitting on my hands, absolutely doing nothing. So to say that this year was heavy, it was. I met a different part of myself that I haven't seen for 30 years. I haven't seen this. I don't even know who this person is. I'm 30 years old, never seen her, never met her. But I say all of this to say it's amazing how one moment in time shapes your entire reality, and how another very small moment in time can rip the fabric of everything that you thought that you've built. And unfortunately, either one of those things you may not have control over. So sitting with my therapist and going down the rabbit hole of my mind, trying to make sense of other people's behavior, and then still having to sit with the fact that I am allowing certain things, I am welcoming certain things, I am calling forth certain things, and the only thing that I have control over is myself and what I do. And yet my feet are not moving. I haven't done anything for myself that I necessarily wanted to. Granted, I had my party. It was great. I had started moving in the direction of just pouring more into myself, which I'm still doing, but now it's a bit more purposeful as it relates to where I'm going, and what I have to give to this world. Definitely, I don't know. It rocked my world. It rocked my world. And now I'm sitting with a different perspective on family specifically, and still in a battle with maternal figures. This upcoming year that I'm going into, is definitely going to be me healing that feminine energy within myself, and how it relates to the outside world with other women, and just femininity as a whole. Because up until now, I've held all of the men in my life, my dad, my grandfather, my uncles. I've always held them in such a high regard. And then I was also the woman who said, I don't really like having girlfriends for whatever reason. Everybody has their reason that says that, but I just was not fond of having female friends because it always seems like it's something, and I just did not want to be in the mix of that. It's just always being something. But there's a part of me that I have to heal when it comes to women. And as a woman, it's strange to say because, a lot of times we talk about daddy issues, and how it relates to women in our dating and preferences and so forth. But, some of us also have mommy issues, and that definitely relates to friendships, other familial relationships, and even how you see yourself as a woman, if you are a woman, listening. So this year is definitely about healing that mother wound that I have, unfortunately. But fortunately, because I'm here to do it, and I want to. Um, this was very impromptu, so I didn't really think all of my thoughts all the way through, but I did want to come here because, I felt inspired. Especially digging myself out of a hole. Again, seems like it's always again. It's just, the Most High will bury you deep, deep into the earth's crust, and you just have to grow and rise up again. But you're always growing more knowledgeable, more resourceful, reliant on yourself and the Most High. And, glad to say that I'm grateful because though this was very, very hard to deal with, like I would not wish a year like this on my worst enemy. Though it was very difficult to deal with, I am gaining something out of this. And what I do definitely hope moving forward, if the Most High would afford me, is not to see a year like this next year at best, please, because it has been stressful. And what's funny is because not this year, and I don't even think, maybe it was last year, maybe it was like the year before, and it was like, I feel something, like I feel something about to shift, something is about to happen. And it's like I braced myself. And then as the year concluded, I was like, okay, maybe we're safe here, you know? And then there was last year, and I was like, okay, you know, things happening not so immediate to me. And I'm like, okay, all right, maybe that's what I was feeling. Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not, because it came knocking on my front door this time. And I'm like, man, I sat with that thought maybe the other day ago, and I'm like, man, it was, you know, funny that maybe about 2 years ago, I'm like, I feel it. Like, brace yourself, brace yourself, brace yourself, because you don't know who, you don't know when, you don't know how, but brace yourself. And I thought I was in the clear. I really did. I thought I was in the clear until I wasn't, and I was questioning my sanity at that point. Uh, um, but moving forward, I just hope that I can be a beacon in this world more than anything else, you know, and I can be of service to those that are around me, because this journey is not easy. And as much as we would like to think that we all have it figured out, this is all our first time here in this life. This is all our first time. And every day I learn something new. I tell, you know, the people where I work and I manage, I tell them that all the time, like, listen, I've been in this industry now 5 or 6 years. I'm still learning things anew every day. Any company that I work for, I have to start all over again, and I have to learn how they do what they do, even though I've been in the industry. I know the industry, I don't know the company. So now I have to relearn everything. You know, every single day it's something different, and we have to learn something anew. And that's literally life. So don't let anybody shame you for being a certain age and not having a certain thing, or not being a certain place because you've been here. Don't let anybody shame you for anything. We're all just doing our best. Every single day I wake up, I tell people, hey, I'm just doing my best. People say, oh, you look like this, you look like that, and you know, you did this and that was great, and I'm just doing my best. That's all I have. And that's been like my saying for maybe about the last 3 or 4 years. I'm just doing my best. It's all I have. That is all I have for anybody, even myself. Every day I wake up, I'm doing my best. And if I'm not doing my best, the only person I have to answer to is me and the Most High, because we both know why I'm here. You know, Most High definitely knows better than me, because sometimes I think that I'm on the right path, and then I'll have a year like this, my God, and it will shake me. It'll shake you too. If you do have a year like this, it'll shake you to your core, and it's like, man, I thought I was, you know, taking one step at a time. I felt like I was on the right trajectory. You know, things that started picking up, and now all of a sudden you just shake me, and you just shake me loose from everything that I thought that I knew. You just shook me from it. And now I'm here looking stupid all over again, trying to figure out what was it that I missed. And sometimes it has nothing to do with what you missed. It's just that wherever you're going is much more fruitful, that you have to be stretched and constricted and stretched and constricted to build durability, so that when you do get to the place that you're going, you can't be shook anymore. You can't be shook unless the Most High shakes you themselves. Like, that's it. So even for moments like this, I am grateful, because it was hard. And unfortunately and unfortunately enough, if it's ever as hard as this, I know that I win. Now I know that I win. If it's anything equivalent to this, I know that I win on the end, because I'm winning now. I'm winning now. So I'm just thankful to be on the other side of all of those feelings and those happenstances. And again, you know, because I'm still calibrating my nervous system, I do hope that, you know, they take it easy on me, because I'm just trying my best to maintain where it is that I am mentally and bring myself back into oneness. If you're still here, thank you for listening. I know I just kind of jumped right into it. So if you've made it this far in the video, please like, share, subscribe. Tell me your story. I'd love to hear it. Put it in the comment section. You don't know who you may help or who you might bless. So definitely feel free to put it in the comment section. But, you know, I'm grateful, even being able to articulate these things. Again, like I said, I didn't write any notes this time, because, you know, this was very impromptu. Now what I've started doing, if I just get an unction to create, I just do it. You know, I just do it. And it's really been helpful. It's been a beautiful outlet for me. This YouTube page, I'm not sure if you could see, but I think I probably had this YouTube for 10 years maybe. And like my first video was what, like, I think you guys can see it. I'm not sure. I may have it hidden, but my first video was 6 years ago, 5, 6 years ago. And then I stopped. So, you know, just doing things like this, I know it feeds my soul. And I do it. I become inspired and I just do it. I don't ask myself any questions. I don't ruminate. I don't think too hard. I just go for it because every day I'm putting my best foot forward. I'm only doing my best because that's all I got. So again, I am very appreciative if you're still here listening to me rant and rave. Hopefully I can do this a little bit more consistently. Take you all on my journey with me as I'm, establishing myself and sharing my story ultimately, because I tell people all the time, I could probably write a book. I mean, it may be entertaining, but the life that I've lived up until now, it may be very entertaining, but you know, like I said in my previous video, I don't want to give anybody else the glory for where I'm going and what I'm about to do. So, maybe at some point I'll share those things, but as of right now, they're irrelevant. And everything that I am giving to this world right now, this is what matters. Those things matter on the belly end because it built me, but these things matter more because this is how I am going to be of service to everyone else that comes in contact with me. But again, thank you for giving me a moment of your time. It's been beautiful. And again, like, share, subscribe. And until next time, peace.